Love Island USA Season 7, Episode 8. Review and recap. Ambience of the opening. Presently, Amaya. Girl, I implored you not to embarrass me when you first entered this space. Yet here we are. This episode was a mashup of chaos, drama, triangles that erupted, denied embraces, and a pie-filled challenge that revealed an excessive amount of information. In all honesty, I relished each moment of Episode 8, which featured cases, comedy, and sorrow. Ace Amaya in the friend zone spiral. Nick and Ace are depicted on the shore discussing the heated mess that has just transpired with Amaya. Ace is essentially expressing, her energy does not elicit a response from me. It does not compel me to embrace her. It does not have any effect on me. Now take a moment to reflect. Yes, Ace is experiencing a chill. However, it is important to note that he literally selected Amaya and then immediately placed her in the friend zone. Naturally, Amaya continues to regard him as her number one. Hannah, to her credit, attempted to enlighten her, stating, "Girl, Ace had you crashing out 2 days in." However, Amaya is not paying attention. She remains adamant that time will tell. Time is a liar, my dear. Time is urgently urging us to advance. Jeremiah and the baby bombshell. Subsequently, Jeremiah discloses to Alondria that Huda has a daughter. He acknowledges that it is a difficult situation, as he has always desired for his first child to be his partner's first child as well. However, rather than simply severing relations, he is employing the diplomatic, safe approach. He intends to endure the situation, observe its progression, and avoid appearing arrogant on national television. In the interim, Alondria undergoes another alteration. One moment she is enamored with Jeremiah, the next she is seen shipping him with Huda and then disparaging him in confessionals. Sisis is bewildered. However, her reminder is actually valid. Huda and her daughter are a package deal. Furthermore, alarm sirens should commence to sound if Jeremiah is referring to her as the kid. That is not merely distance, it is hesitation that is presented as civility. Austin, Shelley, and the triangle from hell. Shell is ultimately summoned by Austin for a conversation. He admits that his insecurity is exacerbated by his association with Ace. However, he is making an effort to appear vulnerable. Shell assures him that she values their relationship. However, she acknowledges that she is still in the process of experimenting. Girl, you are engaging in a pastime. You should be more silent. Additionally, it is evident to all of us. Shell asserts that she is relieved that Ace did not select her, however, her subsequent actions demonstrate otherwise. Even as she clings to Austin for solace, Shell relishes the pandemonium that is Ace. Shell is waiting for Ace to draw her for yoga, while Austin is out here bearing his soul and expressing his frustration with meaningless hookups. Huda versus Jeremiah, a monolithic commitment. Huda desires labels. Jeremiah, not as much. He concludes each response with either "for now" or "if." The door is left open for fresh girls. Jeremiah dares to act offended when Huda ventures to inquire whether she should also maintain her options open. "Sir, you have just stated that it is not impossible for you to explore." Then he accuses her of gaslighting for resisting. "Jeremiah, you are simply adverse to commitment and dislike being called out." Huda is not flawless, however, she is observing your ambiguity. And the disheartening reality? Jeremiah will employ the not impossible justification as an escape route the moment a new revelation is disclosed. The forcible romance of Taylor and Alondria. Taylor acknowledges to the men that the spark with Alondria is absent. When he responds, "Yes, I kissed her," he appears to be compelled to do so. It is unnatural, rigid, and inauthentic. It is evident that my partner is not interested in her. However, he is feigning interest to maintain his status. In the interim, I am imploring production to introduce a charming stone honor to Alondria in this villa, as this coerced romance is distressing. The yoga date fallout and Ace's power games. While Amaya is still grappling with the rejection, Ace arranges a yoga session for Shell. It is not even close to being described as messy. To prepare for Ace, Shell abandons the preparation of Austin's brunch. Shell, this is a red indicator. Do not abandon a man who provides you with stability in favor of the individual who humiliated you in front of the household during the recoupling. Amaya, of course, discovers the information, attacks Shell in the makeup room, and accuses her of being a liar for failing to disclose her Ace connection. It is exhausting when Amaya interrupts her, overtalks, and rolls her neck. Even the females are required to instruct her on how to engage in a conversation. It is humiliating. To her credit, Shell maintains her composure. She clarifies that she was not acting dishonestly and that Austin remains her primary focus. But, let's be honest, Amaya's grievance is not with Shell. It is due to the fact that Ace will not embrace her, but he will embrace Shell in front of the entire villa. That is the source of the pain. Another Amaya crashes. Ace subsequently summons Amaya to discuss the matter. However, it is ultimately fruitless. She is applauding, rolling her eyes, and interrupting him. He ultimately concludes, "I am no longer interested in engaging in exploration with you." She responds by repeating, "I am also not interested in exploring with you." "I believe you made that statement yesterday, girl. This is not empowerment. It is an outburst." Even during her confessional, she endeavors to preserve her reputation by asserting, "The more I learn about Ace, the less I desire to." Certainly January, the harm has been inflicted. You were observed by every male individual who witnessed your collapse. No one is offering to enter that disaster. Jeremiah discovers his exit. Jeremiah informs Nick that he has concluded his relationship with Huda. He is utilizing her weird comments as an excuse and asserting that she treats him like a child. In all honesty, this was unavoidable. He had never intended to maintain this level of commitment for an extended period, and he was merely seeking a convenient justification to drop. Ace interference versus Austin and Shelley. Austin and Shell engage in a delightful meditation session. Charlie's jealousy is evident in his sideways glance. I have been asserting that Charlie continues to harbor affection for Shell. The production team even zoomed in on his visage twice. Do not disregard it. Final thoughts. Episode 8 was chaotic in the most delightful way. Austin, poor Austin, is attempting to compete with a man who thrives on chaos. Ace solidified himself as the villa manipulator. Shell demonstrated that she is unable to quit him. Jeremiah utilized weird comments as his escape hatch, and Amaya was completely embarrassed. The game only served to intensify the situation, and the repercussions will inevitably be severe tomorrow. What were your thoughts on Episode 8? Is Amaya excavating her own grave? Is Shell merely engaging in a game? Or is she genuinely in love with Ace? Additionally, is Jeremiah a suspect for remaining with the Huda for such an extended period? Please share your thoughts in the comments, click the like button, and ensure that you are subscribed to avoid missing the recap of Episode 9. If Episode 8 was as chaotic as it was, tomorrow is bound to be explosive.